what me and my assistant here are going to show you what to do is make a gallows. Very easy, fun. What you want to do is make a giant L-shaped object here. Very, the old cross looks like an old light fixture, or, everybody knows what a hangman's noose pretty much looks like. So that's what we're going to make. What you want to do is the same distance from the top here. We'll just say 14 inches or so, right? And then we'll make it 14 inches on the back half. The length on how far this hangs out, it's according to your taste. Kind of make it according to the height of your gallows. You don't want it to be like 6 feet out this way and only 8 feet. That's just going to look silly. So maybe make it a third of the length of the entire structure that you're making. Now I'm going to show you how to cut this and make this actually work. You could use a saw, but I prefer to use the electric one. This is the 14-inch piece. Now we're going to lay this out on here. And we're going to lay this out here. Notice how this is even. 14 inches this way, 14 inches that way. Now it's starting to look like a nice little gallows. Take another beam, or 2x4. You want to cut it the exact length of the width of this gallows, which right now is 63 inches. Okay? This one's 63. Lucky me. Now what we'll do, take this on top here, put it on top, lean it like this, and on there, we'll make a nice little cross. See that? There you go. Now what you do is we start screwing this together. If you don't have a screw gun, a hammer and like a 10D or an 8D nail would do just fine. I made a notch around this 2x4. See how that fits in there nice and snug? Now that's where we're going to get our strength from. I'm now going to screw this crossbar into the vertical post. Make sure it's square before you screw it together. If you don't have a square, that's really not a big deal. I mean, it is supposed to look rickety and old and scary. You definitely can put a couple of screws in this section because this is what's going to give it its strength. Now it has all its strength it's going to get. It's notched, it's ready to go, it's strong. Now all you got to do is just cut and fill in with more 2x4. That's all you need.
Wear eye protection and be careful when you're using tools.
Now it's done. So if you want, now we can add some fun stuff to it to make it a little spookier. Look at this, an old piece of wood. Laying around, found it in my backyard. This could be your cross piece, very simply. So let's see. How can we make this more fun? Now I'm going to take this jigsaw and cut out this design. The brace here is not really a support, but it's intended to look like it's supporting the weight of like a body hanging from it. It really doesn't have to be strong. The shape of the 2x4s together are strong enough just as they are, but it looks really good. Oh, look at this. It actually looks like a little bat. Yee, for Halloween. What do you think? All right, looks like that's done. Now I got one more other little trick up my sleeve we could do. I'm going to bevel the edges on this to make it look a little more old-fashioned. What I'm going to do is put my jigsaw on a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to trim the edges. If you do it with a handsaw, that actually look even a little cooler because it looks a little more handmade, old-fashioned. What do you think? A little more medieval looking or what? This is some old hemp rope, but if you buy some new stuff, what you could do is just roll it around in the dirt. You want to get it old so it looks like bodies have been hanging off it from a long time. If you notice, I make the noose very small because I don't want anyone's head to be able to get in there. See? Try and get your head in. See, she can. We don't want any kids getting hurt. I put a knot here in the end of it. I didn't tie this noose like a correct noose. This way, the rope can't slide in or out, which means someone can't put their head in there and tighten it. Now here's another one of these eyelets. Screwed in, rope hanging through it. Now if you also notice, I tied a knot right here so the noose can't drop down. What I'm gonna do next now is I'm going to dig a hole to position the gallows. Well, that certainly was some hard work now, wasn't it? Now I'm gonna have to get my helper, Tom, to give me a hand getting this gallows up and in. There we go. The next thing you gotta do is you gotta tamp this thing in the ground and really pack it in because you don't want it coming down. You should have at least 2 feet into the ground, minimum. Push the dirt into the hole and tamp it in. Now I have a tamping tool which really packs it in. But that's okay. If you don't have one, you can definitely improvise with a 2x4, which I have here. That slides down, and that'll definitely pack the dirt in just as good. That's it, all done. Finished product.